Okay, this video is going to be about Addie's first hospital stay and a little bit of a backstory. So, when Addie was born, it was all normal. She went to a normal room with me and my husband. She went home after two days in the hospital, or like 1.5. I'm not really sure. Um, she had one event while she was breastfeeding at the hospital that scared us. She choked and she turned purple. We called the nurses and they're like, oh, she's okay. Sometimes they just do that. It's okay. We weren't feeling very comfortable with it, but we listened to the nurses and we just kept going. Breastfeeding her, doing everything that was normal. Patty is our second child. We'd had experience with acid reflux and all that, and we already felt like she had acid reflux when we went in. When her pediatrician visited her in the hospital, she talked about starting her on Zantac, but when she came to her first appointment, she was spitting up a ton of clear fluid in the hospital, but they think she had just swallowed some like amniotic fluid. She was just like vomiting up tons of this fluid.
Those are bad nurses.
So, but they sent us home, and we had her first appointment in 2 days, I think it was, and she had an appointment at the lactation clinic in 2 days. So we went home. She just wasn't eating a lot. She wasn't peeing. I was pumping. I was giving her formula, but she was just vomiting like everything up. And I called the on-call doctor, and they're like, just give her more formula. Just keep feeding her. Keep feeding her. So the next day when she went to the lactation clinic, she nursed. She had lost weight. She was really lethargic. She didn't look good. So she nursed for them, and right after vomited up even more than she had just taken in. And then they're like, this doesn't seem right. But they went and got some formula. And they fed her formula, and she vomited again, everything like instantly. And they're like, something's wrong with your kid. You got to get him into the doctor. You got to get him in today. Something's wrong. This isn't right. Never seen anything like it, type of thing. So we got her into the pediatrician, and by the time we got into the pediatrician, because they were right across the street, and they saw her right away, and it was a Saturday. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Then they had Saturday clinics there. So they were like, she needs to go to the hospital. So and of course the hospital is right across the street. So we went straight to the hospital, and they got her back, and they're like, your kid's sick. She's really sick. They started her blood sugar was really low. She was just really sick. She was really dehydrated. They thought she had meningitis. Like they were really concerned. Her oxygen was low. She had to be on oxygen. Her temperature was low. She was just like worse for wear. Like she was really bad. So, but they couldn't. Thank you. They couldn't. They just had to get her stable, and they had to give her IVs with more sugar than the standard IV. They gave her a dose of sugar because her sugar was so dangerously low, and she was so sick and lethargic. And they put her in a heat bed. They got her warmed up, and they put her in the PICU. And from the PICU, by the time they sent her upstairs in the hospital, she had started to recover. She was no longer needing oxygen. They got her off oxygen, which was good. And they said, we need an upper GI on her right away. We're worried that her anatomy is wrong. We're worried something's wrong because this kid can't eat and keep anything down.
Yeah, something's wrong.
But she went to the upper GI, and they couldn't find anything wrong with her. So they sent her back to her room, and they just kind of watched her. She had IV fluids going. They wanted her to eat. They had lactation come into the room. They saw me nurse her. They said, this kid is not swallowing right. You can't nurse her anymore. She needs a slow flow bottle. And so they, hi buddy. So I will continue this another time. This is just the first of her first hospital stay. So that's just the ER and what she got into the room. I will continue the rest of this in a second video. Thanks for watching.